Hi everyone, my name is Miranda, and today we're talking all about Toddler Tips Kitchen Edition. I wanted to say a welcome if you're new here. I so appreciate you stopping by my channel. I love making videos about homemaking, motherhood, and just making the most of this beautiful life that we've been given. So if you like that kind of thing, I'd love it if you could like this video and subscribe so that you don't miss my next videos. Okay, so we're just gonna jump into the nitty gritty and we're gonna talk about eating with toddlers. Now we all know that this can be really good or really difficult. I have had many moments with toddlers that they would eat anything, and they seem to eat literally everything, right? Like everything in my kitchen was gone. But then there's also the times where they just won't eat, and you're like, I can only give you chocolate milk so many times, you know? And we're in one of those phases right now, and I'm just like, all right, I know it will get better because it has before. But a couple things that have worked for me with a few toddlers that I want to share with you. The first one is how I serve the food. Oftentimes toddlers don't want things touching. And so having plates where you can separate things out is really helpful. So I have this set, I will link their Wee Sprout. They come in a pack of 3, and these are great for littler kids because they have the suction and they actually work super well. My 10-month-old tries really hard to rip this off and it rarely actually comes off, which is great. So that's a nice option. Has the dividers, so you know, you can separate their food if they want that. I also just have these plastic ones that my older kids like to use, and these work great as well. I will link anything I talk about in the video down below so that you have a quick little access link to get to these items. But these are great, and sometimes I even go as far as, let's say you're having spaghetti. We want our kids just to eat. And so if I'm making a meal and I can easily just split out the ingredients, I am perfectly fine doing that. I don't think that that is the same thing as me making a complete different meal for my kid. So I have some kids that just don't like sauce on noodles. They just want the noodles by themselves. And so I will literally split out like the sauce and the noodles separately. And then maybe, you know, we usually have like green beans with our spaghetti or whatever we're having. But I am fine, or breaking down a taco, you know, put some taco meat. Maybe they only want the taco meat in the tortilla, but then if they want to dip it in sour cream and, you know, whatever it may be. So that can also help too. Splitting up the food so they don't touch, but also literally splitting out the ingredients of the meal because maybe they'll actually try them. Now, next, I would say if your child hasn't liked something before, keep offering it. Offer it, offer it, offer it. We make our kids at least try it every time. And there are so many times where they have tried something and they didn't like it, but then suddenly the next time it was served to them, they just ate it. So keep offering it. Now, I wouldn't offer that personally as like their main meal, you know, because I do want my kids to eat something, but I know there's going to be so many different standards or rules that you have with your family and how much food, what they have to eat and all those kinds of things. So do what is best for you. But as far as trying things they don't like, that has been something that has really helped, is just continuing to offer it and don't even talk about the food, like just offer it to them. So that has been great. Another tip for getting your kids to eat when they seem to just be super picky is making a picnic lunch. And one way I like to do this is taking a muffin tin, and I will literally fill the muffin tins with different items. Maybe there's some grapes and cheese and some ranch and carrots and crackers and a couple chocolate chips, whatever it may be. We love doing picnic lunches or dinners, you know, whatever works. But that is a fun way for kids to have a lot of options laid out in front of them, and you will be surprised how many times they might actually try something new, or like eat that cucumber and ranch dip because it's served in just a very calm, relaxing, fun way. And it's definitely encouraging of them to actually try more things when it's laid out that way and isn't more like, here's your dinner plate, eat your whole dinner. You know, it's just presented in a different way and something a little more fun. So you never know, they might just try their vegetable. I have also found that getting kids involved in prepping the food also can encourage them to eat it. So I've talked about these before in a video, but I love these knives. They are sharp enough to cut, but not sharp enough to hurt yourself unless you like really tried to. So these are great. My daughter and son love using these to help me prep stuff. And oftentimes they'll be, you know, cutting up vegetables or something with me, and they'll just be eating them without me saying a single word. My lips are sealed. My lips are sealed. I just let them do their thing. Yep, keep cutting those cucumbers. And they're like eating them. Can I have some ranch? Sure, I'd love to get you ranch with your cucumbers, you know? So having them help prep it often makes the food like less intimidating, and they're more excited to try it, especially if it's baked goods. they are so much more likely to actually try a bite of it when it's done because they were part of it. They're their muffins or whatever you're making. And so that's very exciting for them. Another tip, and I kind of mentioned this with the ranch, is serve it with dip. Give them something to dip in. If I put ketchup or Chick-fil-A sauce, man, that's like the most popular in my house. What about yours? Ranch, whatever it may be, my kids are so much more likely to actually try what they're having. My daughter will only eat chicken if it's like dipped in ranch or sweet and sour or Chick-fil-A sauce. So if I just served her chicken, there's no way she would touch it. But if I cover it with sauce or she can dip it in sauce, most times, at least sometimes, she will eat it. So it makes a big difference. Give them something to dip in. I mean, I know I like me some dip, especially with my fries. Right? Kind of sticking with the kitchen gadgets, I also really like this to cut food. It makes this edge on it that makes it easier for kids, especially little ones, to pick things up. But it's also a way that they can help chop in the kitchen and, use your discretion with your kids. You know what they're able to do safely. But I can give this to my 2-year-old or my 7-year-old and they know like they can't cut their fingers because this will hurt. But it's still pretty safe so that they can participate, which is great. And then one of the best kitchen items, in my opinion, for little kids, especially if you're starting baby-led weaning and then just going up until, I still do this with my 7-year-old with grapes because he has choked on a grape before and it is very, very scary. So anything round can go in here and then it shoots it out into 4s. You can see here. So this is awesome and they can absolutely do it. So you just put the grape or whatever you're doing. You could put a cherry tomato in here, blueberry, anything that has this kind of round shape. And you just push down and it comes out the other end. And oh my goodness, it has saved me so much time too. Not only because they like to do it, but just because I don't have to get out a knife and cut a grape 4 times, right? I guess you're cutting it twice to make 4s, but you know what I mean. It's so nice. You just rinse it off really quick when you're done. I would rinse it right away because it's very easy to clean if you do that. Just like a quick rinse of water, a little bit of soap, whatever, and it is clean. But this has been, one of my most used kitchen tools since having children. So this is a win in my book, and it's so nice. And just makes food prep and feeding it to them much, much safer. My kids also sometimes don't want to drink water or it's just not as exciting to them. So one thing that they think is fun and makes them drink more is having a cup that kind of looks like mine. So this is just one example. This is a tumbler. It has a silicone straw, which is cool, but it's just a stainless steel, insulated tumbler. And this looks a lot like some of the cups I have. And so sometimes they don't want little baby cups, right? They want to be a big kid and they want to be like mom or dad. And so having a cup that does look like it's for someone older, oftentimes will encourage them to actually use it because they see you drinking the water and so they want to be just like you. And this has been a great option. It doesn't spill, it seals super well, and it is very easy to clean. I am a huge stickler with cleaning things. You literally only have to clean right in this middle here, and that's it. So I am all for cups that can't get nasty and moldy. So this is a great way to help a toddler or a child to drink more water. I also want to say there is a soccer game going on in our backyard, so I am so sorry if you can hear kids screaming because they're having a grand old time out there. But I had to film this video right now, and so we're just dealing with it, okay? Another thing that I love to have in our kitchen is drawers or cabinets, whatever it may be in your kitchen, that are easily accessible for kids that hold their stuff. So I have all of the kids' cups and plates and bowls all in one area, actually in 2 areas, but they're all completely accessible to them so that they can get it themselves. They love to be independent, and you want to teach and encourage healthy independence. So my son can help me, get the plates out for dinner and get the kids' stuff out. My daughter can grab her own bowl for snacks, or they can go fill their water up if they'd like to, because it's easy access for them. So I would highly recommend having, safe, toddler and child-friendly plates, cups, bowls, all that kind of stuff somewhere where they can access so that they can start to learn to get it for themselves, and also just have a safe place where they can play, honestly. My next tip, and I have talked about this before, and I probably will never stop talking about it because it is our 100% most used item in our kitchen, besides probably plates and bowls, is our learning tower. So my daughter is on this multiple times a day, and we love it for so many reasons. Ours is not foldable because we have the space to be able to still walk around it, but there are toddler towers that are foldable, which is really nice. So if you have a smaller space, you can get one that you can store away easily, or some that even turn into like stools, so they're multi-purpose. But this is a stool and a toddler tower, but it helps keep them more stable because there is an enclosure, if you will, that just helps so that they don't, fall. But my daughter eats up here. She helps me make food. She colors up here. She paints up here. She literally does anything at this toddler tower in the kitchen. She'll pull it over to the sink to wash her hands. And it has been a life changer. It has also been a game changer for eating because she doesn't always want to sit at a table. She wants to be moving or whatever she's doing. And so this was kind of a more fun way for her to eat and still do it safely. And she is so much more likely to actually finish a meal if she's at this toddler tower. Now, you wouldn't think that because she can get down from it, but I mean, she can jump off a chair too, But this has just added a level of fun, I think, into eating and being in the kitchen. And she helps me all the time baking and whatever I'm doing because she is home with me. But I know that this will get use for years to come. It's in fantastic condition and we've had it for a year now. And if I was to get anything again, it would absolutely be a toddler tower. We will never be without one until our kids are grown. Another tip is to get some silicone cupcake holders. This is a set of 12 that we have, but we love them. They are just these multicolor silicone cupcake holders. Now, I do use these for baking, and stuff pops out of them very easily when you do bake, so nothing gets stuck, which is nice. But we also use these to put sauces in or snacks in, or if you're using a plate that doesn't have separators in it or dividers, you could, put their sauce in this with the rest of all the food on the other plate. You can just put little snacks in here. I oftentimes will put, the ranch in here and then a thing of crackers maybe on the plate that has like the pasta or whatever. But I think you get the idea. These are so nice. We love using them for what they're used for, like what they're made for, baking, but also as a little toddler hack for serving little portions of food. So for some reason, toddlers and kids they don't like veggies very much. At least mine don't. Now, I know some kids do, and that is amazing. Good job getting that to happen. But I have had stages where, the kids won't even touch anything that's green, and other times where they're like, give me all the broccoli and ranch. So you just don't know. It changes so much. But one way to still get those veggies in is to blend them or shred them up. This has been great. I use my grater for, carrots, even like apples and stuff like that to get it into different things, especially when babies are young and they shouldn't just be eating apples. But, shred your carrots, your celery, your zucchini, whatever it is. And in most sauces or breads or muffins especially, you can put them in and they will never know. Another way we like to do this is just simply to put them in smoothies. I just love them, and you can put so many different things that are super beneficial health-wise to your kids. And it's also just a good way to get like a solid amount of calories and nutrition and all that kind of stuff in their diet, especially if they're super picky. The different things you use will turn them different colors, which is super fun. So that's like, oh, here's your green smoothie, here's your purple smoothie. And, just make it fun, not like, ooh, green is gross, right? Like, we're going to make it exciting. And on that, another note/tip is don't call food gross. We don't want to refer to vegetables or fruit or anything that you don't like. Like, I don't like hot dogs, but I'm not going to say hot dogs are gross, especially to my children, because I don't want them to think that like that food is gross. Some people like different food, and that is totally okay. I know what my kids like and don't like, I'll tell you that. But I'm not going to refer to this food as gross, because really, food is about the nutrition and filling up our bodies and making us healthy and helping us grow. Green isn't bad. It just tastes different. Sometimes we like it, sometimes we don't, and that's okay. So I have 2 more tips for you. And one of those is to put a water faucet helper on your faucet, and that's in your kitchen or bathrooms or wherever it may be. It's kind of like an extender, I guess you would call it. And so it goes on the faucet, and then it pushes the water more towards the edge of the sink so that the kids can reach it. Now, we love having stools. We have stools everywhere, including that learning tower. But having that water faucet extender is very, very helpful, especially when you're dealing with toddlers and little kids when they're first learning how to wash their hands, or maybe they want to help with dishes, whatever it may be. So having that extender on there is very helpful. So my last toddler kitchen tip for you is, when you can and when it makes sense, serve food in the packaging. Now, this is if you're home or on the go, whatever it may be. If you have, some fruit snacks in a package, It'll take them a lot longer and help them just really use those hands and learn how to open things if you serve it to them in the package instead of just dumping it into a bowl. So they're having to open the package. Sometimes for things that are quite difficult to open, I open it just a little bit, but then she can still learn how to pull a bag open or rip a bag and help do the rest of it. And then she's eating the snack out of the bag versus me just serving her a bowl of goldfish and she just has a bowl, eats it, I want more, and so it helps make it more of an activity and something for them to do, which they always like, right? They want to be focused on something. They need a goal. And so you're giving them a goal, they can meet it, and then they get that delicious snack or whatever they're eating after they're done. But that is just a different way to serve food that you probably just don't think about. At least I didn't. So that was some toddler tips, kitchen edition. I hope that you learned something, got a few new ideas, and can incorporate some of those into your daily activity with your kids. If you have any, I would love to hear them. Please post them down in the comments below. I love to just lean off each other and get some new, tips and information. And maybe you've gone through something and you're like, oh man, do I have a tip for you? If this happens, I've got you, Mom. I just love to come together as a community and support each other and give each other ideas because, we're just some moms trying to make the most of motherhood and do the best we can for our kids. And so let's do it together if we can, right? Thank you so much for watching. It means the world to me that you stopped by and hung out with me a little bit today. So I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. If you enjoyed it, I would love it if you could give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe. Turn that bell button on so you don't miss any more of my upcoming videos. And I will see you very soon. Have a wonderful day. Bye.